Hey coaches, hope everybody is doing well. Welcome to the next video coaches training. And I'm really excited about this week. We got a lot of great stuff going on. We got U20 practice tonight and Wednesday. We should have our rosters all set up and ready to get going on this tournament. Today the coaches training, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how to use video, and I'm also going to start talking about strategy a little bit. And so far in all of the coaches trainings, I've done 6 of them, and I haven't really talked a whole lot about strategy, and there's an intent behind that, because no matter what strategy that we learn as coaches, it's really ineffective if we don't know how to motivate and inspire players. And that's the same whatever we do in life, whether we're in the workforce, whether we're in education, whether it's with our own kids. We have to learn how to inspire and motivate people in life, and that's what being a leader is. And being a coach, we are leaders, and we're not only leaders just for the young men and women that we work with, but we're leaders in the community. And so it's really important for us to take that seriously and understand that coaching is not just a hobby that we do on the side, but it's a lifestyle. It's who we are as people, and no matter where we are, we have to constantly be a model as to what we expect from our players. So if we want to have players that operate with integrity, with kindness, that are stand-up young men and women, then we have to model that ourselves. So I hope that is something that we're taking seriously and that we're working to achieve. Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about video, and I'm going to talk to you about some ways that we can analyze video to help improve our teams and our players. I think video sessions are one of the best things that you could do as a coach, is sit down with your players and analyze film. It always helps players to see exactly what you're talking about and to see themselves perform. There's a lot of times you can keep telling a player over and over, you're doing this wrong, you're doing this wrong, you need to improve in this area, and they just don't get it. And a lot of times coaches can get frustrated because it feels like the player is being defiant, it feels like the player is not listening to you. And the truth is they're not purposely being defiant. They just don't really see it. It feels different to them. It looks different to them in their mind. So you have to actually show it to them before they understand it. During the season at DeLotte, we watch film every single week, and sometimes we watch it twice a week. If we don't have a game that week, sometimes we'll film practice and we'll watch practice, or we'll watch old films just so that we can continue watching ourselves and continue seeing areas of improvement. I use a program that you see here on the screen called Hudl, and this is a program. It's created in the U.S., and I use it not because it's the only one out there, but it's the one that's been most familiar to me, because I used it when I was a coach in the U.S. And so when I came over here, I continued to use it, and I let them know that I was in Malaysia, and they said that's okay because they have servers located in Singapore, and it actually works quite well. This is something where all the players that I have the Hudl app downloaded on their smartphones, on their iPads, or on their devices. So actually, wherever you have internet connection, as soon as you record the video, it automatically uploads it on the website. And so the players, if you're recording in a gym that has Wi-Fi, and if you're connected to the Wi-Fi, the players can watch their games instantly. So it's really good. It's got a lot of really nice statistic features in here that I'll show you a little bit, and then we'll watch a little bit of film and I'll show you what I do. One of the features that I really like to have is this run graph, where it shows your. I've heard old coach say that basketball is a game of runs, and you just want to make sure you're going to go on a run, the opponent's going to go on a run. You just want to make sure that at the end of the game, you're the one on top. And you can see that in the orange is where the opponent goes on a run. And then the black, you can see these are our runs. And of course, I'm showing you, this is our last game of the season. We played St. Paul, Guam, and we played really well. So I'm going to show you this game. And you can see that this is definitely good. This is what we want to see. We want to see there's consistency in our scoring. We remained in the black. We're stagnant a little bit here. But this is the important part. We progressively got better. In our fourth quarter, we actually peaked at the very end, which is super. That's exactly what we want to see. That's a good statistic. What we don't want to see is that this is in the black, and all of a sudden in the third quarter we go down to the orange, we go back up into the black, and then the fourth quarter we go into the orange. We do not want to have those statistics. We want to make sure at the end, even if we're in the orange in the first quarter, that's okay, as long as we're making the proper adjustments and getting back in the black and making sure that we're improving. Okay, the other good features that it shows are these statistics: field goal percentage. This is total field goals, 20. We got 50 shots up. We were 21 for 50. This is actually a bad statistic for us. If you look at our season statistics, we normally average over 70 shots per game because we're a really good offensive rebounding and we get a lot of steals. We're a really good defensive team. This is actually one of our lower shooting games, but our shooting percentage was higher. That's a good thing. 42%, and if you're a U18 basketball team, you're shooting 42%. This is overall field goal percentage. So this is all of our shots combined. That's pretty good. Effective field goal percentage right here. This is going to be your 2-point range. So we are 48%, 50% from there. That's good. 33.3% from the 3-point line for U18. That's a good statistic. That's exactly what you can expect and where you should be. Transition points is pretty normal for us, 14 points. Points off of turnovers, this is something that at DeLotte we usually thrive on, and we stat this a lot. We stat deflections, we stat steals, because we really pride ourselves on good defense, and we score a lot off of our defense. A lot of what we're going to be dependent on in our U20 youngsters. I'm teaching a lot of defense and a lot of transition because this is a great opportunity to get extra points. You got to, and here's why. Because if we look at these statistics, and I'm telling you these numbers are good, 42%, 33%, those are good statistics for offensively for U18 and even probably so for U20. So if you look at these, then 60% of the time you're going to miss a shot. Well, if you're only getting 50 shots, you're not going to have a very high score. So you have to create as many shot opportunities as possible, and you can do that off of playing defense. Good defense leads to these easy buckets. Got 20 points off of transition. That's almost half of our points were scored off of transition. Points in the paint is always a good statistic. That's important. Offensive rebounds, like I said, this is actually low. Normally we average around 20 offensive rebounds per game. 10 assists is a pretty decent number per game. That's good. This is what I was telling you about. This is 16 steals is actually low for us. Normally we have around 23 steals. And we only had 5 deflections. Normally we have over 10 deflections every single game. A deflection is when somebody gets their hand and the ball hits their hand, even though that the offense still may catch it, that still throws the offense off rhythm. And that's our job defensively, is we always want to keep the offense off balance, off rhythm. So deflections are great statistics to have, and that's why we have those. And that's why our players actually, they pride themselves on getting deflections during games too, because they know we stat it. This is really bad. 20 turnovers is not good. That means we're not taking care of the ball. That means we lost 20 opportunities to score because of that. So team statistics, This is another thing I really like is our shot charts. I actually use this. One thing good about this this program, and I'm not going to go into too much detail because there's a lot to go over, is one thing I like about this is you can actually look at shot charts for each individual player. And what I'll do a lot of times is I'll show players their shot charts, and I'll say, look, you're 0 for 8 from this side of the floor. You either should not be shooting from that side of the floor, or you need to practice that spot more. That you got 8 shots from that same spot, so you better start shooting from there and practicing a lot more. But I can look at these shot charts and I can see where we're strong and where we need improvement. And we did not have a very good 3-point shooting game, except for this spot right here. And we actually we're not a good 3-point shooting team. We really thrive off getting steals and getting transition layups like that at the lot. So this shot chart is great to see where you're shooting. I like this statistic where we're not really taking a whole lot of mid-range jump shots, and what that's telling you is that we're either getting to the paint or we're creating inside-out shots, which is something that we work hard on. If I were to see a lot of shots from this mid-range section right here, I would not be happy, because that means that we're playing a lot of one-on-one basketball and we're just trying to jack up jump shots, which is something that we don't practice. Actually, next year, our strategy, we're going to have different styles of players, so our strategy is actually going to change, and I'm actually going to a lot of our offense is going to be geared towards trying to get these mid-range jump shots, because we have really good set shooters, but we don't have a whole lot of playmakers. So we're going to try to make a living off of these mid-range jump shots. I can always explain that later. And then, of course, here's our other statistics. Each player individual statistics: deflections, steals, blocks, turnovers, personal fouls, charges, defensive rebounds, offensive rebounds. This site does a lot of great stuff. So I've used this for years. I really enjoy it, and I can give you more tutorials on it later. But here's what I really like about this website, and we'll get this game loaded. You can see the box score up here. Usually this goes a lot faster, but I'm recording this video from my home, which I have slower internet, so it's taking a little bit of time. Here we go. Okay. So let me show you a couple things right here. Is I can actually add playlists, and I can draw. Right here is where I can add to a playlist. I can star certain clips. I can post messages on this. And so as I'm watching the video, what I'll often do is I'll make notes on the video. So what happens is that once I save all of this, it goes straight to the online. So when the players go back and watch it, they can see these notes that I'm writing in here. And also when I go back and do film session, it also helps me to remember.
One possession. Whoever scores first wins. Really early, right?
Okay, so right here, I'll rewind this just a little bit. Okay, so here's what I like, and this is what I would say about this possession. They're in a zone defense, and we did a good job getting it into the post, and he did a good job going underneath the basket. Of course, this kid is strong. I would rather him just go through him and go up and score the easy layup. But something that I might do is I might draw a line right here. Here's our 45-degree pass. Here's our corner pass. And both of these guys are in position. So I might do something and click save. And then I might write a comment and say, great job being at the 45 and corner. And save that. And so when I'm looking at this video, what we practice a lot, especially against a zone, is that when the ball goes inside, we always want to have our designated 3-point spot. So we got our 45, we got our corner, and we got our relief up here, which they did a good job rotating to the correct spots. He didn't see them for those shots. He should have made the layup. But the next comment I would make is that you'll notice when he goes up for the layup, these guys just stand. They don't go in offensive rebound. What we do is we always keep one guy back, and since this is a forward right here, he should be crashing the offensive glass, and he should be back right now on defense. This guy right here in the corner, the guy opposite should always be crashing the offensive rebound because that's where the ball bounces off most of the time. So I would actually make a comment to him and say you got to do a better job offensive rebound. All right, so this is something that makes me mad. This is something that really drives me crazy. Okay, first of all, what we teach strategy. We're going to learn all about this on Thursday night during the coaching clinic because I'm going to do the defensive session. But we always stop ball first. We pride ourselves on our defense. We pride ourselves that nobody ever gets transition on us because we always have somebody yelling out, calling out ball right away. They didn't do that. Nobody picked up ball. They got it all the way across half court. And because of that, it leads to a wide open layup. These two guys flattened out. They ran right to the middle of the lane instead of trying to pick up early, and it results in a layup. It's just a very bad defensive possession. Very bad. But it's the beginning of the game, so a lot of those mistakes happen at the beginning of the game. 1-2-2. There's the 45. Missed it. Offensive rebound. Missed it. Offensive rebound. Skip ahead. Not a bad possession right there. We got baseline penetration. Open 45-degree angle shot. It's a good 3-point shot to take. Of course, it would have been even better if we would have made it. Against a 1-2-2 defense, a lot of times we just stick with our same man offense, which really increases if I notice something. If I notice something against the zone, if I notice a weakness in the zone, we'll switch it up and we'll do something different. Which actually this game I noticed that they were really small and that we could really spread them out and then create one-on-one mismatch situations in the paint. So that's exactly what we did. We ran a domino set. We tried to really spread them out and we attack them off the dribble. Okay, that's a lot better possession. I'll show you this. Okay, so we picked up the ball right away out here, which was good. We picked up ball right away. And then what I also like about this possession is when it forces them to pass, it lets everybody set up defensively. Now this is something that we're going to learn on Thursday. What we do, we try to force the offense to the same two spots every single time because we feel like these are the two spots that we can recover defensively, and we don't want to ever flatten out. And you can see right here, this is one double team spot, and then this is the other double team spot right there. And you can see that we have 2 guys in position to stop that. And he's able to make that pass. And of course he's leaving his feet, which you should never do. But because you're not flattened out means that you're too close to the baseline. You're too flat down here. Because he's not flattened out, he's able to recover back to this guy quickly. Okay, so he left his feet again. Should not ever leave your feet. But he's still out there. He's still able to recover. You can see that we got our 2 guys just ignoring those 2 over there, but they're in position to help side. So that's what we teach. We always want to play 5-on-1 instead of 5-on-5, especially defensively. Okay. Back that same spot. Okay, so right now, this is what I like about video, is because right now I would be, just like I'm pausing it now to talk to you, I would be pausing this in the film session and pointing out, telling Calvin, stop leaving your feet, just stay home. This is so many times players defensively get too excited and they actually over pursue. They try to do too much and they just get out of position. It's a lot of times it's better just to calm down, relax, stay in your position, stay in your spot, and just keep people home. And I mean, if you force a 3-point shot out of rhythm, then you've done your job. It gives them a bad shot, and it gives us the ability to get a defensive rebound. The second thing I would tell them is that the footwork is all wrong. You can see that their bodies should be facing their man, and their head should be facing the ball. Well, their bodies are all twisted up, and that's why it gives them a bad opportunity to recover. See right there, Sean is probably trying to go for a steal instead of trying to slide over and get in front of him. Instead, it just leaves a clear path. Either that, or he's relying too much on his help defense. He thinks Calvin's going to get there and trap it like he did the last 2 times. Now, the third thing is that Joseph is underneath the basket, but we never teach your head should never be underneath the net. If your head is underneath the net, then you're too flat. You're too far underneath and you can't recover. So this guy gets all the way into the lane, and Joseph is too late getting there to recover. And if he doesn't make the layup, he has a wide open dish right here to this, and we can't recover. We can't recover because bad rotation and being too flat. Yeah, that's just poor defense. So he dished, and then we just let him right in the middle. Okay, see, Jeremy's doing a good job. Like I said before, is we're always trying to slow the ball right away. Guam is these kids are really fast, and they actually, the first time we played them, they beat us pretty good because they just ran up and down the court, and we couldn't keep up with them. They were too fast for us. So we're actually playing zone defense right now to try to slow them down, and we're picking up the ball right away so we can slow them down. Now I'm telling Jeremy to provide a cushion. Just make them comfortable enough to walk up the court, but to see that the defense is ready so that they slow and don't try to sprint. That's a stupid shot, but of course, I don't want to ever destroy a player's confidence by telling them that during the game. So if it goes in, everybody cheers. If it doesn't go in, then you can talk to them about it later. I might mention it during the game if it continues, but most often I don't want to destroy a player's confidence. So I would definitely point out what a bad shot that is during film session, but probably not. Okay, I can't be too rough on them because this is the first time all year that we've played a 2-3 defense and we just put it in. But what I'm going to discuss with you on Thursday night is that if you build a good foundation defensively in teaching man-to-man principles, you can throw in any defense during the game situation that you might need, and the concepts are going to remain the same. And so if they master the man-to-man defense, they're going to be able to execute any defense and do it perfectly. We actually lost to Guam the first time we played them. We lost to them by 25 points, and in this game we beat them by 30 points. So we had almost a 60-point swing from the first time we played them to the second time, and that's because of simple adjustments, going zone, better shot selection. And that what made us successful is that they had the ability, that they had the basketball IQ and the ability defensively to make that switch to a 2-3 zone, even though we've never played it before this entire year. So they did a really nice job. I'm not going to keep you too long, so I just wanted to show you film and just talk to you a little bit about how I would analyze this. And I go back through every single game. I don't stat it during the game. I actually stat it after it. I watch every single film of every game that we play. I scout teams that we played last year and try to develop strategies on how we can improve and what we can do to beat them. But more importantly, it's so important for your players to be able to see themselves on film play to help them improve and to see what mistakes that they're making in areas where they can really look to improve. I can promise you on the court, guys like Calvin and Sean that I just showed you their bad defense, I can promise you during the game they think that they're playing awesome defense. And so if we don't watch film and if they can't see it from themselves, the film doesn't lie. So if they can't see it from themselves, they're never going to learn and get better. But sitting down and watching one film session, the very next game, I can promise you that these two guys are going to be the best lockdown defenders. And as a team, we're going to be better defensively. And that's the key to our success defensively, is that we're able to make those adjustments and watch ourselves on film. So if you have the ability to record your games, to record your practice, to show your players and to learn from the film, it's definitely a really good and useful tool for you to use. Okay, I'm going to wrap up this coaching session for right now. I feel like I've already probably talked way too long. And I'll leave it with, I'm really excited about the coaching clinic this Thursday. I hope you bring your attention, bring some note-taking material so that you're going to want to take a lot of notes. Coach Mike is definitely, I would say, in my opinion, probably the best coach that I know as far as having such a vast and broad knowledge base of understanding the game of basketball. All sorts of strategy. You can ask him any question, and he's going to have a great answer for you on how to prepare teams. He's going to do a segment on offense. I'm going to do a segment on defense. I'm going to give you a handout on defense. I'm sure Coach Mike will have a lot of handouts to give you for offense. And we're going to have a great night of learning at the Youngsters Club on Thursday. So hopefully we get to see you all there. And have a great week.